This is the biggest story unfolding before their eyes.
Surrounded by friggin' UFOs.
Of a UFO battle in orbit around Earth.
I believe that's 0420.
Welcome back, people, to another video. Today I just wanted to go over something that really stuck out to me in Dr. Stephen Greer's recent documentary called Disclosure, which basically underlines and exposes the levels to this cover-up, to cover up everything that happens and put the intelligence committee's twist on it, to push their agenda, same as the globalists did through COVID and the likes of certain things like that are going on in government today in Australia, such as the new censorship laws. My point is, there's more to meets the eye, and that's what we're going to be covering today, including the Chinese balloon hoax, and on top of that, the connection between that hoax and the UAP phenomenon. So we'll actually start at the start where the 2023 Chinese balloon so-called incident happened. From January 28th to February 4th, 2023, a high-altitude balloon originating supposedly from China flew across North American airspace, including Alaska, Western Canada, and the continuous United States. The Pentagon characterized it as a surveillance balloon. It was later shot down. Later, following after the shoot-down, a preliminary analysis of the debris in June, the US officials stated that the balloon carried intelligence gathering equipment but does not appear to have sent information back to China. So when the Chinese balloon supposable incident happened over the US, it sparked all sorts of media coverage, almost like the mainstream media was tipped off or pushed to make a huge international story out of this. But what was the thing that was not reported on before this supposable Chinese balloon incursion happened? The other interesting fact is there was over 44 other Chinese balloons just in the last couple years before this incursion happened, and they made zero media coverage. That's right, zero. Why did this Chinese balloon incursion cause such a media storm? Why was it so heavily reported over international media? Why? Well, let me take you back to the start of when the first incursions happened over the Alaskan airspace, which happened in a location near Dead Horse. This object was hovering over on February the 10th of 2023. Supposedly, the official story is the United States Air Force shot down a high-altitude object that entered the US airspace over Alaska a day before. The object was shot down onto the Beaufort Sea. The Department of Defense said it was the size of a small car and flying northeast at approximately 40,000 feet, posing a risk to civilian flight. On February 16, 2023, US President Joe Biden stated that the down object was probably a civilian-owned balloon, in quotes, most likely tied to private companies, recreation or research institutions. That's from Wikipedia. And isn't it funny, after he made that statement 6 days after the shoot down of this supposable balloon, isn't it funny how these admissions later on that somehow seem coordinated come out one after another after this incursion into the airspace happened by this unknown object the size of a car? Now, on top of this obvious cover-up through the mainstream media, which is a huge tool that was put in place during the days of Operation Mockingbird that has continued to date, there was actually a UAP shot down over China just days before these incursions over the Alaskan airspace. Not to mention, to tie in, how there were UAPs spotted over the Arctic Circle days before the Chinese spy balloon occurrence. Sources told News Nation that NORAD scrambled jets to intercept the UAP. NORAD denies the incident, saying jets were on a training operation. 3 other objects shot down in February remain unidentified. You know what that spells to me? an obvious cover-up. How do you cover up multiple UFO incursions over your airspace? Oh, you send a Chinese air balloon and you pay off every mainstream media corporation in the country to share this as the #1 news story, which they did successfully, and everybody fell for it. Just like the COVID epidemic with the propaganda that made us think that this was a life-ending disease, that the world was going to end, well, the same tactics were put in place right here. It creates submission of the public. It creates complete obedience by the public as well, and complete believability that every news station worldwide is sharing the story of this fake Chinese air balloon that's been pushed over the whole of America without it being intercepted once, and then shot down just magically for everybody to see. This was a classic Operation Mockingbird cover-up of a huge UAP incursion. It's happened before in the past with Project Blue Book and other operations to cover up UAP incursions, like the Roswell incident, where they used the mainstream media to cover it up and ridicule anyone involved. Well, it's happened again here. And guess what? It's happening today with the New Jersey drone incursions. They are using American drones to hide or cover up the UAP incursions that were happening over these nuclear sites. And again, everybody is falling for it. And one of my favourite things about this large-scale cover-up of these incursions with these stupid Chinese balloons and excuses that the public just soak up is, look at this photo they used, this set-up picture for propaganda of uncovering this balloon that's dropped into the sea. Now let's go back to Roswell and see the same old tactics used again and again. The exact same positioning. The military staff are holding a balloon up for the camera. Take the picture, debunk the UAP narrative. Let's show everybody that it's a down balloon. Let's shut this story down straight away. And there it is right now, the connection. I think the intelligence community really needs to try and make up some new ways to debunk UAP incursions, because this is really getting old.
I'm here to discuss the so-called flying saucers.
General Sanford and the rest of the Air Force brass believe that these lights were caused from temperature.
The White House dismissed some theories.
There is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity. I loved E.T., the movie, but I'm just going to leave it there.
But today, Biden went on the record to say the most recent 3 aircraft are not Chinese.
We don't yet know exactly what these 3 objects were, but nothing right now suggests they were related to China's spy balloon program.
Anyway, there you have it. The same excuses, just decades later. We all fall for the same tricks, even though we've supposedly technologically evolved. We're all falling for their psyops, and it's time to wake up. Thank you everyone. Watch my previous videos about local cases of UAPs around Australia, and also subscribe and share the videos to your friends. See you next time.